Hello, and thank you for joining me for the AWS Summit online. My name is Jude Sheeran, and I'm AWS's Head of Cloud Innovation in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, although I enjoy working with education-focused organizations all over the world. In this session, we'll explore remote learning and what we're doing to help educators continue their critically important work during these extremely challenging times. As this map from UNESCO shows, the majority of countries, here in purple, have enacted nationwide school closures, and the countries in pink have closed schools in certain regions. Only the few countries in blue have allowed learning institutions to remain open. So the vast majority of governments have found themselves needing to rapidly scale and in some cases create new distance learning capabilities. In many others, however, the infrastructure just isn't there. In fact, less than 25% of low-income countries are currently providing any form of remote learning, and the majority of those are using TV and radio. In stark contrast, close to 90% of high-income countries have enabled some form of remote learning, mostly online. A staggering 1.5 billion K-12 children worldwide were home from school in April, and there is an emerging global realization that technology has a bigger role to play in education. For example, the World Economic Forum says that the pandemic has reminded us that we live in an interconnected world and suggests that educators might evolve from knowledge holders to knowledge facilitators who need to unlock technology in order to deliver education. Pearson, a 170-year-old leader in education publishing, is evolving into a digital education company. Pearson leverages AWS technologies in order to improve agility, scalability, performance, and security, whilst optimizing costs. And with Alexa, through Revel, for example, Pearson provides students with new ways to study and learn. Revel is Pearson's fully digital learning environment hosted on AWS, which gives students access to courses on everything from art, history, and philosophy to computer programming and finance. Revel blends digital text, media, and assessments to offer an interactive learning experience that deepens students' understanding of key concepts. As students' lives change, their learning methods and needs are also transforming. Andrew Gilfillan, Pearson's Vice President of Courseware Product Management, says this: "In today's world, students are on the go. They have competing priorities with families, activities, jobs, and more. Our Alexa skill enables students to do their schoolwork on their own terms, anywhere, anytime. We want students to have access to more convenient learning." Right, let's look at the role that technology has played during the COVID-19 crisis and explore what back to school might look like. AWS has worked with its EdTech partners for many years to help K-12 and higher education deploy innovative teaching and learning technologies all over the world. These capabilities are helping them tackle the challenges they face today, and we stand ready to help them tackle tomorrow's challenges too. Educators were already migrating to cloud before the current crisis, and we expect that trend to continue. A recent study carried out by Inside Higher Ed found that 90% of university presidents were concerned about financial stability, and that the top three areas in which they needed help were operational planning, instructional technology development, and student support service capabilities. The same technologies that are helping educators continue their work during the outbreak of COVID-19 will be there to help them when we return to something like normal. We're seeing rapid modernization coupled with a close focus on cost management and increased training of faculty, other members of staff, and students, again, all over the world. For example, 14,000 educators, along with a few students, attended a recent Educate webinar series on remote learning and working best practices. We're seeing large migrations, expanding capacity, and new platforms, application, and content emerge every day. I'll explore a few more examples later, but for now I wanted to share with you what my family and I are experiencing firsthand. One of my daughters is one of those 1.5 billion children who are learning from home at the moment, and her school uses some software called Firefly, which enabled her to get back to school, albeit virtually, in no time at all. Firefly launched in 2008, and according to one of the co-founders, they encountered lots of challenges with on-premise setup. They found that supporting schools largely consisted of solving problems with underlying infrastructure, dealing with backup issues, domain name system failures, etc., rather than supporting the software itself. There were just too many factors beyond Firefly's control, which multiplied as more and more schools adopted their software. On AWS, those challenges are things of the past. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, Firefly was able to scale immediately to meet new demand, and other schools without equivalent capabilities were able to sign up and instantly continue teaching their students. Now, I'm not sure how happy that made the students, my daughter included, but I have a pretty good idea how parents felt about it. Here are some of the organizations for which we provide mission-critical infrastructure. Blackboard is the largest education technology and services company in the world. In thousands of classrooms from South Africa to Shanghai, teachers and students depend on Blackboard's EdTech platform. And as usage skyrocketed, the company found it more difficult to scale its most popular applications, which were once hosted in more than 30 data centers. Blackboard now leverages key storage and data services, including Amazon EC2, Amazon RDS, Amazon ES, Elasticache, and Lambda, and has been able to shut down over 20 of its data centers. This enables Blackboard to focus on providing value to its clients and students rather than managing infrastructure, especially in these challenging times. Santillana, the leading education publisher in Spain, is now running more than 50 solutions in 22 countries. Each employs intensive data processing and supports complex multimedia content. On AWS, Santillana is able to auto-scale their capacity instantly, rather than standing up new infrastructure, which can take months, and use machine learning-based technologies such as Amazon Comprehend, which uses natural language processing and machine learning to find insights and relationships in text, in this case, in order to analyze student data. Amazon Comprehend requires no previous experience. It's a fully managed service, so there are no servers to provision and no machine learning models to build, train, or deploy. You pay only for what you use, and there are no minimum fees or upfront commitments. Like Santillana, many of our customers operate internationally. And whether you need to deploy your application workloads across the globe with a single click, or you want to build and deploy specific applications closer to your end users with single-digit millisecond latency, AWS provides you with the cloud infrastructure when and where you need it. AWS now spans 76 availability zones in 24 AWS regions around the world, and has announced plans for 9 more availability zones and 3 more AWS regions in Indonesia, Japan, and Spain. In addition, we have a global network of edge locations made up of 216 points of presence, that's 205 edge locations and 11 regional edge caches in 84 cities across 42 countries. On AWS, you're able to replicate easily across availability zones and regions, in some cases at no extra cost. Our low latency infrastructure has been designed and built to prevent downtime. With our simple storage solution, S3, your data will be safe with 99.99's durability. So governments, schools, colleges, universities around the world are rapidly adopting remote learning and working in order to maintain business continuity and provide students with continued access to education. From quickly scaling learning management systems to launching virtual classrooms and upskilling educators and setting up remote help desks, we're working with edtechs and educational institutions to provide mission-critical infrastructure and tools that enable them to continue to deliver their education safely and efficiently. Let's take a closer look at a few examples of how education has been leveraging AWS all over the world during the past few months. Across the Middle East, AWS is collaborating with edtechs to provide millions of students with access to online learning content. Working with a local content startup, Maudu3, and our AWS team, the government in Jordan deployed a new learning platform in just 1 week. Since launch, and in less than a month, 35 million classes have been viewed by 2 million students, and the solution is already evolving. most recently by adding online assessment. The solution, delivered by Modu 3 and AWS, provides video workflow via Amazon Simple Storage Service, Amazon S3, transcoding with AWS Elemental Media Convert, which converts video into multiple formats for viewing via a broad array of devices. The content is delivered using Amazon CloudFront, which securely delivers the video content, in this case, with low latency, high transfer speeds, and all within a developer-friendly environment. With this cloud-based workflow, Modu 3 has been able to focus on delivering compelling learning experiences for students across Jordan without having to worry about the complexity of building and operating separate video processing infrastructure. AWS is also supporting Brazil's largest K-12 system, Somos Educaus, in extending online education to more than 1.3 million students and faculty. Also in Brazil, AWS is providing the Sao Paulo state government with the infrastructure they need in order to offer online classes at no cost. This is the first digital initiative of its kind in Brazil's public school system and will benefit around 1 million high school students. In Egypt, in order to ensure that the country's 22 million K-12 students continue to receive education, the Ministry of Education worked with CDSM Thingy and AWS. Thingy is another one of our partners to provide remote access to the Egyptian Knowledge Bank site. The site received 7.3 million page views and accommodated more than 574,000 concurrent users actively engaging in digital learning within the first 5 hours of going live. As Italy imposed national quarantine, AWS worked with EdTech BSmart to provide students in Italy access to virtual classrooms using Amazon's audio and video calling service, Chime SDK. Thanks to this new services, 30% of schools in Italy are now conducting their classes online. And the CEO of BSmart says that his organization was able to build multi-party video interaction capabilities in their virtual classroom applications for schools in Italy in under 8 days, and that the feedback from teachers and students using the application had been excellent. In India, EdTech startup Impartus has stepped in and supported schools around the country by launching virtual classrooms at no cost for more than 530,000 students and 32,000 teachers so far, the majority of which were first-time online tutors. That is the online equivalent of 13,000 physical classrooms. And AWS has already helped Impartus onboard more than 90 educational institutions, such as the Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi, as well as the Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, Narayana School, and others. AWS is helping institutions not only connect their students, but also their faculty and staff to ensure business continuity. Athabasca University in Canada had to scale remote work access to 180 staff across Alberta. IT staff wiped laptops that weren't being used, installed new operating systems, and loaded them with Amazon Workspaces. Within a few days, staff could work remotely for the first time. Cornell University in the USA also built Workspaces, which has enabled one instructor to give students access to a range of business applications, including Oracle SQL Developer and Tableau, from wherever they choose to study. In the words of that instructor, we can rethink how we teach with Amazon Workspaces. We can offer more to students, more interesting class content, and more interactivity, without adding any more complexity for instructors. The sky is the limit. Higher education institutions are also turning to the cloud to establish call centers to field IT inquiries from hundreds of thousands of students and faculty as they adjust to using new applications for remote work and learning online. Some institutions, such as the University of Arizona in the United States, adopted Amazon Connect in order to enable staff to receive calls on their computers or cell phones throughout the day. Susan Legg, Executive Director for IT Service Management, said that Amazon Connect was a lifesaver for the University of Arizona during these unprecedented times. AWS is also here to help you develop the skills you will need to get the most out of our technologies. You can find additional resources on AWS training and certification here by visiting aws.amazon/training to build cloud fluency in your organization. In particular, we support education by training and resources needed to upskill faculty and other staff members as learning moves to the cloud and to teach students critical cloud technology skills. In order to help organizations build the cloud skills required for effective and efficient use of our platform, we offer a range of training and certification resources designed by AWS experts and delivered by AWS staff and certified instructors, with skill enablement validated through 11 industry-leading AWS certifications. AWS Training and Certification offers 600 free digital courses and our training portal to accelerate cloud knowledge for students. Topics range from security, big data, data warehousing, and machine learning. AWS Academy provides higher education institutions with a free, ready-to-teach cloud computing curriculum that prepares students to pursue industry-recognized certifications and in-demand cloud jobs. Our curriculum helps educators stay at the forefront of AWS cloud innovation so that they can equip students with the skills they need to get hired in one of the fastest-growing industries. AWS Educate is a global program that gives students and educators access to cloud resources. We offer resources offline and online in 200 countries and territories and in 11 languages, including classroom facilitator guides for teachers and hands-on activities involving AWS services such as Lex, essentially speech recognition, and Polly, which turns text into lifelike speech. The Educate team launched 2 efforts in April to provide remote learning resources: an educator-to-educator webinar series on remote instruction, and a workshops from home series for educators and students that provides access to online classes for cloud skills, computer science, robotics, and machine learning. While I'm on Educate, in May, Cardenal Herrera University in Spain announced a 3-year cloud computing program in collaboration with AWS Educate in order to prepare the next generation of cloud professionals to respond to the needs of Spanish and Latin American organizations. We'd love to speak to you and your organizations about helping you launch similar programs. So as you've seen, we've provided and helped governments, universities, schools, and education technology providers deploy a range of solutions that support distant learning and communication. Remote desktops, remote access to applications, virtual contacts and support, remote communication and collaboration, content storage and collaboration, and secure and scalable access are just a few of the ways in which AWS is supporting remote working and learning. A short time ago, I mentioned the role that Amazon Workspaces played in enabling faculty members to work at home in Canada, and students to study from anywhere in Canada. Workspaces is a managed, secure desktop-as-a-service solution that helps mobile and remote employees access the applications they need by delivering a cloud desktop accessible anywhere with an internet connection via any supported device. You can use Amazon Workspaces to provision either Windows or Linux desktops in just a few minutes and quickly scale to provide thousands of desktops to workers across the globe. You can pay either monthly or hourly, and only for the workspaces that you launch. Amazon Workspaces helps you eliminate the complexity in managing hardware inventory, operating system versions and patches, as well as virtual desktop infrastructure, while providing a full persistent desktop that students can use throughout their education. Amazon AppStream 2.0 is a fully managed application streaming service that allows students to access the applications they need on any computer, whether they're in the classroom, in the library, in a cafe, or even at home. The students simply open a web browser, choose the application they need, and start learning. You manage your desktop applications centrally and securely deliver them to any computer. AppStream 2.0 allows you to easily scale to any number of users across the globe without acquiring, provisioning, and operating hardware or any infrastructure. And it's built on AWS, so you benefit from data center and network architecture designed for the most security-sensitive organizations. Each user has a fluid and responsive experience with your applications because they run on virtual machines that are optimized for specific use cases, and because each streaming session automatically adjusts to network conditions. Educational institutions are able to provide every student access to the applications they need for each class on any computer. It doesn't matter whether they're using Macs, Chromebooks, or PCs. Applications become available to your students on demand. They can access them in class and close their laptops when class ends and pick up where they left off in one of the places I mentioned earlier. Your classes aren't limited by students' access to specific computers on campus or in the classroom in the labs. With AppStream, any student in the world can access applications they need for their class. And when COVID-19 shut down access to student labs on campus, Sheridan College in Wyoming, USA, turned to Amazon AppStream 2.0 and one of AWS's partners, Synchronet, to quickly enable engineering students and teachers to continue their work. AppStream 2.0 was the right platform for Sheridan's student lab because it deploys quickly, supports graphics-intensive engineering application, and because costs align to actual usage. Synchronet guided Sheridan's IT staff through the entire process, and as a result, the college was able to provide learning continuity during the lockdown without any additional capital costs or delay. AppStream 2.0 enables edtechs to reach new customers by developing software as a service offering without rewriting their applications. AppStream 2.0 provides a scalable, reliable, and secure foundation on which to develop a SaaS solution out of your desktop applications. Your applications become available through a web portal, and you are able to manage users' access and data. Amazon Connect enables businesses to establish a fully operational call center that can be operated virtually anywhere in minutes, as was the case at the University of Arizona that I mentioned earlier. Connect enables people to work at home and perform all their usual contact center tasks. Agents can make and take calls. Supervisors can monitor and coach agents in real time as if they were sitting in the same office. Managers can view dashboards, run reports, monitor service levels, listen to call recordings, and track performance all from home. Amazon Connect is an easy-to-use omnichannel cloud contact center that helps companies provide superior customer service at lower cost. And over 10 years ago, Amazon's retail business needed a contact center that would give our customers personal, dynamic, and natural experiences. We couldn't find one that met our needs, so we built it and later made it available to our customers. And today, thousands of customers use Amazon Connect to serve millions of customers every day. Amazon Connect provides a seamless experience across voice and chat for your customers and agents. This includes one set of tools for skill-based routing, powerful real-time and historical analytics, and easy-to-use intuitive management tools, all with pay-as-you-go pricing, which means Amazon Connect simplifies contact center operations, improves agent efficiency, and lowers costs. With Amazon Connect, you can set up a contact center in minutes that can scale to support millions of customers. Amazon Chime lets you meet, chat, and place business phone calls with a single secure application from anywhere. You don't need to switch between applications to collaborate and can instantly go from a chat to a call, share your screen, and even invite more people to join your meeting. And when it's time for your meeting, Amazon Chime will call you on all your devices to ensure that you're never late and that your meetings start on time. I use it every day and I love it. And as we saw earlier, Amazon Chime helped 30% of Italy's school children to continue their education at home. Amazon WorkDocs is a fully managed, secure content creation, storage, and collaboration service. WorkDocs makes it easy to collaborate with others from anywhere and lets you easily share content, provide rich feedback, and collaboratively edit documents. You can use Amazon WorkDocs to retire legacy file share infrastructure by moving to the cloud and integrating with your existing systems. You can easily create, edit, share content, and because it's stored centrally on AWS, you can access it from anywhere on virtually any device. With Amazon WorkDocs, there are no upfront fees or commitments. You pay only for active user accounts and the storage that you use. Again, I use WorkDocs every day on various devices, and I think it's a fantastic tool. AWS Client VPN is a fully managed, pay-as-you-go VPN service that elastically scales to support thousands of remote users. It's designed to enable your employees to access any company resource, both within AWS and on-premise from any location, with one console to manage all connections. AWS Client VPN automatically handles the deployment, capacity provisioning and service updates, and allows you to monitor and manage all your connections from a single console. Elastic on-premise VPN services are limited by the scale of the hardware that supports them. AWS Client VPN is an elastic solution that leverages the cloud to automatically scale based on user demand, without the hardware limitations. Unlike on-premise VPN services, with AWS Client VPN, users can connect from anywhere to your AWS and on-premise networks. Using a single VPN connection, users can access different resources across various locations on your network. You define the access rules, so you can be sure that specific resources are only available to authorized users. You can find more information on our Day One and public sector blogs, as well as the AWS education site, the links for which are on the screen, but they're easy to find in any case. All three resources have a wealth of recent information in more detail than I've been able to cover today, as well as links to other areas that may be of interest to you. It's been my pleasure to talk to you today, and I hope that the stories that I have told and the technologies that I've highlighted are of interest and of use to you. But please do let us know if you'd like to know any more about anything that I've said today, or if there's anything that we can do to help you and your organizations. And lastly, please complete the session evaluation and take good care out there.